Hey there, everybody. Welcome back. Today, I want to touch on a very important topic, which is how to get the data out of Dynamics. You can actually use SQL to get the data out of Dynamics. This is a bit of a newer feature of Dynamics, and in the newer environments, it's automatically enabled. But if you have an old environment, you have to enable it yourself. So let me just quickly move over the PowerPoint and show you how to enable that. So that's that. I'm currently on admin.powerplatform.microsoft.com. You have to find your environment. I'm using this developer environment. You will find environment settings. And within these settings, this is exactly the same view as in the old center, so that's fine. Open the product, open the features, and then do Control F and search for TDS. Now, TDS stands for Tabular Data Stream, or so, yeah, it says right here. But let me first show you how to connect to that. For connecting to an SQL server, Microsoft SQL Server, as always, you will need SQL Server Management Studio. And to connect to this TDS endpoint, just do connect here. For the server name, just go back to your Dynamics and copy the URL that you see here, back to server name and paste it in here as a server name and do comma and then 5558. That's your magic number. And for authentication, select Microsoft Entra multi-factor authentication, something like that, and then do connect. It will prompt you to log in using your Microsoft account, of course. But since I already done that a couple of minutes ago, it's not bugging me anymore. Now that you're in here, you can go to databases and open. You can see there's a database named after my environment, and now I can do queries on it. So right-click, new query. This is basically the fastest way to get the data out of Dynamics. This is read-only, so you cannot really make any changes. You cannot add attributes, so inserts, updates, alters don't work here, but selects work really, really well. So to get the list of all accounts, I can do select star from account, and let's see, maybe let's do top 10. I don't know how many accounts are there. Now let's try to return everything. It's only 23 rows, it says here. It's only there's a very, very small amount of accounts in my environment. Maybe let's put name in the first column. Here's your list of accounts, and I can do email address 1. Let's say first I get the list of emails. This really comes in handy when you're trying to connect to Dynamics using Power BI or anything that has to do with analytics. So this is hands down the fastest way to get the data out of Dynamics, and it uses SQL, which you already know. Counts and aggregations, so count star from account. Yeah, you can use that for any analytics purposes. In TDS, there are a couple of drawbacks. So you're not reading the actual database that Dynamics runs on. Dynamics is doing some tricks in the background to apply security rules and everything to make it right from that standpoint. So the data is not 100% real time here. If you're trying to read from an entity that's really frequently changing, frequently I mean every, let's say, minute or less than that, that might be a problem, but anything bigger than that, that's not an issue. It's fast, but it's not entirely for real-time operations. Second drawback is that you cannot use this option within plugins. So I'm showing that to you because it's really useful to know that. But the actual way to do it inside plugins is called Fetch XML. And Fetch XML is kind of Dynamics' native way of working with data. So let me show you how that looks. So SQL, you know SQL, it's standard, but Fetch XML is really Dynamics specific. And to show you Fetch XML in practice, let me open up this network tab. So I pressed F12 on my keyboard, and now I can go to any list of entities, any list of records. So let's say accounts. And now I've not missed that. So you will see something like that. You will see a call, which if you go back to headers, you will see it's actually using Dynamics' REST API. And leave down a comment and like if you want to see a tutorial about REST API. You have your base URL, which is basically Dynamics, and then this prefix, and then you have the logical name. This is a bit of magic, but then you have this fetch XML and then equals, and then this weird string here at the back. So what I can do with this string is I can just copy and paste it, and I will go to my VS Code. Now I've installed a special extension called URL encode, and let me just paste that in, and then do Control A, and then do Control Shift P, and then do URL decode. Let's see if that works. It actually did work. One more thing, Control Shift P, and then format document. Now we will see here how fetch XML looks like. It's basically, it's XML, just as the name suggests. Fetch XML always starts with this fetch tag, and it also ends with fetch tag because that's XML. Then you have this entity, and the name is the logical name of the entity. And then we have the attributes. We have the name attribute, we have the state code, that's the status of a record in Dynamics. Then we can also specify order, and we can also specify filters. Then we have some more attributes, and then we also have link entities. The link entity is basically a way in fetch XML to do joins. It's very kind of close logically to SQL, but it's XML, so it's a bit harder to understand. And this one is not so intuitive to build out on your own by hand. It's easy to make some changes, to add some more attributes by hand, but otherwise it's very hard to work with it. So one way to get fetch XML from a list of entities is by using these edit filters. So just go to your to any again list of records, click edit filters, and then you will see here at the top, download fetch XML. Basically the same thing as Dynamics sends to its API, but in a nice format. And you can actually build fetch XML right here. So if you want to add some additional filters, you can say, so if I'm interested in all active accounts, not just from the current user, I can just delete this and do download fetch XML again. And this will also update the actual XML. And then to manage which columns you want to return, you can use edit columns and then do add columns, and whatever columns you specify in here, you can click on apply and then go back to edit filters and then do download fetch XML. And this will also include these new fields that you specified. Now, the other and kind of the traditional way to build these fetch XML queries is using CRM Toolbox. And there's an excellent tool within here called Fetch XML Builder. Yeah, of course, a typo, and I can do that. This is kind of a graphical builder for these queries. I want to get the list of accounts. So I have my let's do view and then fetch XML. And at the moment I just have this fetch tag and the entity, and this is empty, so let's fix that. I'll click on entity here, and the entity name will be account because I'm mainly working with this. So account, and now I can right click on it, add select attributes. That's even better actually. So let's say I want to add a name. It really doesn't matter. So I have my attributes here, and now I can also do right click, add filter. This adds this filter, and I can say, let's say owner ID equals to, or not equal, but equal user teams equals user ID. I can also manually update that here, so I can close out this tag, and nope, and let's try executing. And yeah, looks like that worked. So yeah, that's how to get a fetch XML if you want to view it again, fetch XML. Yeah, so these were the two ways to get the data out of Dynamics, and we will use this knowledge, we'll use this fetch XML in the next tutorial where we'll build a quick little plugin that will automatically associate contacts with accounts based on the email domain. Sounds really complicated, but trust me, it's very easy once you get your head around it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was useful, and see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.